Here are the tests on my 1984 American Standard Plebe. It is set to 5/8 of an inch below the overflow top on the original flush valve, and it is using a standard flapper. So let's give this a flush and see how it does on tests. It has an awesome flush. It's actually longer than the flush on my elongated Plebe, because on that one it siphoned and then the flapper closed, but on this one the flapper closes at the same time as the siphon. For the first test, let's see if it can take a washcloth. There were some minerals in the trapway, but I think I got that all out with muriatic acid. There's probably still a little bit left, but I doubt it's enough to affect the performance. It'll be an easy pass. That's an easy pass for sure. It did perfectly. I also noticed it has this slight defect in the opening, but I don't think that will affect anything at all. Now, let's see if it can take a grocery bag. I'm guessing it will once again pass perfectly, partly because of the way the trapway is designed, and also I had one of these installed when I was younger and it never clogged. Whatever I put in it, if it was toilet paper or anything else except for toys, which I did put in the toilet, don't tell anyone, but it never ever clogged on normal use. So I think it's going to take this just fine. It did perfectly, as expected. Now, let's see if it can take the washcloth and the grocery bag together. I think it'll pass. Honestly, it might get clogged further into the trapway, but I think it'll make it past the opening at the very least. It passed with slight hesitation. That's really good. Now, let's see if it can take a dish towel. I'm not so sure about this. I kind of think it won't pass. Wow. It actually made it past the opening. That is impressive. You usually don't see that. I'm going to give it another chance. I'm going to wait for the tank to fill up, and then I'm going to flush it again. But one thing about these Plebes is they really are a lot more powerful than they look. I think if you were toilet shopping from 1983 to 1990, the Plebe was definitely the best toilet you could buy. It was a cheaper one. You definitely see more defects and stuff like that in these toilets, but their flush and their performance is solid, and I really like them for that. So here's the second flush for the dish towel. Another thing that's nice is that was a full tank of water and it didn't overflow. So unless it's clogged and you flush it multiple times, it's not going to flood your house. I can see water flowing out at a pretty good speed, but I'm going to plunge it. I would definitely consider that a fail. It tried, but it just couldn't get it. Now let's see how it flushes with a clogged siphon jet. These toilets actually have fairly small siphon jets compared to others, so I think it'll siphon. But as I started seeing it swirl, I remembered that the reason that my Plebe got replaced is because the siphon jet was clogged and it didn't siphon. So I should have remembered that, but I didn't. Now I'm going to try it with an overfilled tank and see if that's enough to make it siphon. I could have done this to the one in my bathroom and then I wouldn't have had to replace it, but that still is a pretty weak siphon. Either way, that's a cool test. Now let's see if it can take dirt. For some reason it's not sticking to the sides. But one thing I remember about these is that the bowl rinse right there is pretty bad. But other than that, they are really, really good. And another thing also is that the way the trapway is shaped, it slopes down, then straight up and back around. And I don't know if you guys saw the motion I was doing with my hands because I wasn't watching it through the phone. But that means that if there's stuff like sand or pebbles in the dirt, that it will get stuck there. So I'm hoping it'll pass, but I'm not sure how good the bowl clearance will be because of that. So as you can probably tell, this is the main problem with the bowl rinse right here. They need another jet like right there, or they need this thing to not pop out so much in the toilet itself. I think they probably should have just made it stick out in the front a little bit more. But then again, this was the cheaper model from the time. So I also noticed a bunch of stuff coming out here. Overall, the bowl rinse is not that bad. It's not like amazing either, but it's a really good and solid design. So I think that they definitely could have improved this. Same goes for the cadets, but otherwise it's a pretty good flushing toilet. And as you also just saw, the performance is very good as well. So I'm going to give it another flush and see how much of that it can take, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Excellent. That is all that I have for you now. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and turn on notifications. It helps my channel a lot and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.